Hey sippers, Cardi B is still being taunted by her past, going into females' DMs over Offset. Listen, can Barbie including himself in the drama? Honey, I'm not here for it. Nicki Minaj is being labeled as old and washed up. It's time for her to kick rocks. Also, Megan Thee Stallion being ruled as a sleepy woman because she's always in Jayz's and Beyonce's bed. Now we're going to discuss all of these crazy mess that's happening right now. But first off, I want to say to y'all, support my channel, like this video, because we're going to get into some things, honey. Pull up a chair or something. But let me dive right in. Let me just say this. I am not a fan of Cardi B. I was a couple of years ago, but not anymore. Do I support her as a woman? Totally. And I'm going to first state why I'm not a fan of Cardi B. Number one, I don't believe women should be fighting over a man. Sending people to go attack a girl over Offset, to me, was very violent, considering that's how many people would lose their lives. Honey, you're playing around. You're playing around with crime. And not because you're rich now, it means that you now have the prerogative to do crazy things. I do not endorse it. I disliked what she did so much. But let's get into it. So she rolled into this girl's DM, questioning the girl if she smashed Offset. First of all, Cardi B Belcalis, if that's your name, why are you in females' DMs? You would have been doing this years and years ago, and you're still at this level. And I remember Cardi B took to her Instagram and she was crying, "Oh, Offset left me at my most vulnerable time." Girl, why can't you walk away from Offset? I know no penis is that good. I'm just saying. You're a woman. Where's your decorum? Where's your self-love? And the thing is, Cardi B would get mad at anybody who talks like this, who supports her. She thinks no one should comment on her love life or situation yet. She's putting her love life out there. You held your camera up your face and talk about your situation. Anywho, can Barbie want to include himself, to basically have Cardi B's back, or to defend Cardi B by saying, Cardi B, she needs to have her mental health, she needs to have her mental well-being. First of all, I'm not sure if that's how Ken Barbie speaks, but let's just say that's how he talks. He's like, "Oh, Cardi B should have, a new chapter and stop worrying about these girls, da da da." First of all, if Cardi B wasn't jumping in females' DMs, none of these girls would have something to say. And here's the tea. Ari Fletcher, and that is Moneybag Yo, current girlfriend, and G Herbo baby mom, allegedly usually smashed Offset while Offset and Cardi B was together. And how crazy is that? And I heard behind the scenes, Cardi B tried to confront Ari Fletcher. And this is the thing, a man who's openly disrespecting you like this, where's your self-love? There's no self-love intact. And this is so miserable. Hence why Nicki was always trolling Cardi B like, watch your man, then you should watch your mouth. You should not be commenting on other people's lives when you're a man or Offset out here degrading your reputation, making a fool out of you. And now you're like, "Oh, you want a divorce, Girl, if you wanted a divorce, you would have got one. At this point, we don't care about Offset or Cardi B. I think the situation is rather annoying and puzzling. Like, you have so much bad feelings for someone, but you're still with them. It's very confusing to me. And for Offset, you getting someone pregnant and going out there in these streets smashing other women, like, I think you're evil. I think you don't know what postpartum is about and what it can do or the effects it has on a woman, but I would consider you as an evil person. And I think Cardi B mentioned Offset not being there for the kids during Christmas because, she asked for a divorce. I think, that was him being petty and spiteful. A man is always going to do something when you want to leave because they want power. And I think that was pretty lame. Do I feel sorry for Cardi B? No, that if I do not. And she did something that really annoyed me. She was venting about her situation, but yet she had to use Takeoff's death, and put that in her conversation on the internet. Like, the man died. Why are you using this man's name to make a point or to get back at Offset? That was just so lame to me. Allow this man to rest. Do not bring up the dead in your situation. The man is not here anymore. He can't say anything to defend himself. Why are you doing that? So I disliked everything that she mentioned about Takeoff. And then you could see Quavo and Cardi B together in the club sometimes. And I'm like, you know what? You're trying to go back to back with Offset, trying to make him jealous, grinding and whining on Stephon Diggs. So Offset could go crazy. And this is how I know Cardi B is probably evil. And this is my honest opinion. Now, she came out just the other day to spoke about Offset feeling suicidal because he's going to commit suicide if Cardi B were to ever leave, right? And then you're upset at the fact that he feels suicidal. Not only that, you wished death on the man. This is how I know Cardi B's kind of crazy, right? I'm not saying she's wrong for, leaving or finding a new guy, but that's the father of your kids. You wished death on him, and then you later makes him feel suicidal. Like, suicide is nothing to play around. Like, and for all those who feel suicidal, go seek help. It's nothing funny. I think instead of Cardi B really moving with the situation with seriousness, like she's playing around with the situation. It's almost as if, okay, Offset cheated on me. I'm going to find me a new DIC and I'm going to bounce on it and I'm going to make him cry and I'm going to make Offset hurt. First of all, you're a grown woman. And not because, Offset did that to you, you should do the same thing to him. Go seek help. Go seek therapy. I dislike so much when, someone is hurt in the relationship and they think they should do the same thing that their partner did to them. I dislike it so much. Anywho, moving along. Nicki Minaj, right? First of all, I'm a barb. And what I don't like is people coming for Nicki Minaj's age. And I know Nicki has nothing going on right now, but she cleaned her Instagram bio. She cleaned it. No coconut music titles or anything. She cleaned her Instagram bio, which means the girl is coming, sweetheart. The girl is coming. Now, I want to say just this. Everyone is going to age, and everyone lives, and everyone dies. But I want to know, what about Nicki that pisses people off so much that everybody want to come talk about her age? What is it about Nicki that, that gets people to talk like, oh, Nicki, you're so old, and oh my God, she's the worst, and she's the worst mother. People are even talking about her parenting skills. First of all, we have no clue what's Nicki's son's name. We don't know his name, but yet people want to talk all bunch of BS. People want to talk about Nicki Minaj's husband. First of all, we don't know nothing about Kenneth Petit but his name and that he's a RSO. But apart from that, we know nothing about them. And to be very frank with you, I want to say this. Y'all want to talk crazy about Nicki Minaj years upon years, but y'all don't realize, though y'all talking about her for years, where is she now? Still maintaining her accolades, honey. Still successful. Still existing. Still consistent. She cleaned out her bio, which means, honey, she's coming. Y'all want to talk down on someone who's always flourishing, and that's what gets me. Moving along with Megan Thee Stallion, I think Megan is not gonna have a long career. I think this girl is so sad, and I'm talking about herself and the career that she has. You know, she want to call people the wannabe journalist, but this is my 2 cents on Megan Thee Stallion. The girl, her raps, her music, they all sound the same, and it's not memorable. I remember Kanye West, would have dragged Tyler, the Creator, the other day to say, his music is boring. I share the same sentiment as Kanye when it comes to Megan Thee Stallion. Her music is boring. Her catalog is boring. She really being around the Carters is really cringy to me. And you could obviously tell they don't like Nicki Minaj. They do not like Nicki one bit. And they're literally trying to gaslight Nicki into this big villain. Like, oh, Nicki's the one who's blackballing people's career. Nicki's the one who's tarnishing people's reputation. Nicki's the one who's just doing all these bunch of BS out here. And with Beyonce, I think Beyonce is so jealous of these new girls. Y'all be focusing on Nicki Minaj. I think Beyonce is so jealous, especially of Rihanna, Kim Kardashian, and those girls whose businesses is blooming right now in the industry. That's what I think about Beyonce. And with Beyonce, Rihanna is somewhat watched and glorified by Jayz. And I think Beyonce has a problem with that. And so she's coming out with businesses herself, like Sacred, which I think is very boring. And I'm not trashing her business name, but I do believe there's nothing really spiking or entertaining about her brand. It's just bland. You cook a chicken without no seasoning. That's Beyonce's Sacred brand. It's boring. She adds no light or value, and it really shows that she doesn't really have an entrepreneurial spirit or mindset. She's a great performer, a great vocalist. I can give her that. But when it comes to her being an entrepreneur, I'll never give her that. To me, it sucks. And ever since that Bigfoot diss, Megan Thee Stallion is trying to pretend as if, she's not bothered by it. But when she performed at the Coachella the other day, she had 3 Bigfoot characters dancing on the stage with her. And I was like, you see, you be saying stuff and people be acting as if they're not bothered. They are bothered. Megan Thee Stallion is bothered by Nicki, though she tries as much to pretend as if she isn't. Nicki be getting under people's skin, and I'm super here for that ish. Period. Super here for it. First of all, Megan want to tell or, throw shade in her song that Biatch, your time is up. Why is you not clocking out? First of all, girl, the only career is clocking out is yours. And you being signed to Roc Nation is somewhat a flex to you. But deep down, I think Jayz sees you as a sex symbol and he's not taking you or your career seriously. I think the Carters, they know how to use people. Exhibit A, Victoria Monet. The girl that sings On My Mama, very talented. And as soon as she got close to Beyonce, very washed up. I think Beyonce sees people's potential, sees people's possible success, comes in, intervene, and try to take that away. And that's my honest opinion. Beyonce is a jealous girl, not a gorgeous girl, but a jealous girl. And she know Jayz ain't really into her that much. So she really have to give these girls competition so she could look really on top. But one of the biggest competitions right now that Beyonce has, and I see that she's trying her best, is Rihanna. And I think she really gave Rihanna a very hard time in this industry, hence why Rihanna left music and started her own brand. Because I think Beyonce was low-key bullying Rihanna, and with the type of person Rihanna is, she has never spoken out on the situation. Rihanna always seemed to praise Jayz and, talk good about Beyonce. But deep down, there could be a lot of ish Rihanna has been hiding. I even heard, Jayz usually touched Rihanna, allegedly. And Rihanna tried to keep it on the hush-hush because, hey, she's probably not protected in this industry. she's probably not protected. So she thinks, if she doesn't respond or bring up the situation, she's protected. But I believe Jayz definitely touched Rihanna. And that's my honest belief. I'm not confirming it to be true now. So I think Megan could continue celebrate, acting as if she can play tough and she's somehow bigger than Nicki Minaj, because she got a Grammy over Nicki now. And these girls, they be bragging over Nicki. Oh, they have a Grammy. They have a Grammy, and they're somehow close with the Carters. And y'all could, like I said, y'all could obviously tell Jayz is like an enemy towards Nicki Minaj. An enemy. Like, he definitely has a problem. And I think it's all about power. When he doesn't have power, he's going to have a problem with especially a female rapper or a female artist, because he feels like, he's somehow the alpha, him and Diddy. Hence why I think so many people brought down Diddy, because he was abusing a lot of women in this industry. And so people decided, you know what, I'm gonna really put my feet down and I'm gonna really bring down Diddy. Because if y'all see that video footage of how Diddy did Cassie, y'all would literally cry. He's an evil person. And that's what I believe. And Beyonce being friends with Diddy really tells a lot about her personality. Y'all be thinking, oh, Beyonce's so sweet, she's so gorgeous. She's the wife of Jay-Z. And if y'all could hear some stuff, there isn't good stuff being said about Jay-Z. And she's laying up with him. And I think that makes her someone who we should side eye. I love Beyonce's music, but it's something about her personality that really scares me, because I just don't think she's a good person. And like I said, with Megan Thee Stallion, I don't think she's going to have a long career. I think she's already struggling, like her music. I don't think it's selling as much. So when these girls, they get the Coachella opportunities, they get these commercial opportunities, it's actually them boosting their catalog, because they're probably not selling as much. Hence why Nicki's being looked down at her age, like her age of factor, because they want to dismiss Nicki so they could push these new girls. But Nicki has something that these new girls want, and that is actual talent. Nicki knows how to really blend in. Nicki knows how to hold the audience because she's very authentic. She really possesses a lot of power. And because Nicki Minaj is powerful for a female rapper, Jay-Z's always going to have a problem, and it's always going to try and go against her. The Grammys, they think they could devalue her self-esteem by giving other people, opportunities to win Grammys, because we all know Nicki deserves tons of Grammys, tons and tons of Grammys. But at this point, I don't even care about the Grammys, because it's rigged, and I know this. Everyone knows this by now. First of all, Katy Perry doesn't even have a Grammy, and that alone tells the Grammys is rigged. They want to drag Nicki for her registered sex offender husband. And that's it. But what else can you say about Nicki Minaj? Nothing. But that she's a great rapper and she's talented, and that she's #1 on Billboard as the greatest rapper of all time. And that as the first female rapper, she sold over $200 million in tickets and sales. Okay? And that she is the first rapper or female rapper to has ever accomplished something like that. No other person did that. Nobody else. But I'm eager to see what Cardib is going to do, because I heard Cardib has a new album that is supposed to come out. And it's been years since the BCE. I'm kidding, but nobody's interested in that album anymore, by the way. Cardib has been, to me, lying. And, it drives people away, especially when you're not even that talented. I'm just saying. And to Megan, you want to pretend as if you're not bothered, but the fact that you could get three not one, but three Bigfoot characters on stage while you perform, thinking that it's a laughable situation, so you could flop Nicki's, song, honey, it's not going to be flopped, because people are actually seeing that you're bothered. It's been months, and you're still bothered. Nicki lives in your head rent-free. Okay? And I want Rihanna to come out with more projects so Beyonce can have a meltdown. Because she be thinking because she's Beyonce and because she's married to Jayz, she's on top of everybody. And that she's like the alpha in this industry. Like she's going to be a bully and bully the Grammys to win, country music award or a country album of the year. And I just feel like it's so annoying that the Carters, they think they can bully anybody and win. It's annoying. But I'm rooting for Rihanna to really show Beyonce that she's not really important anymore. And I'm really rooting for Nicki Minaj to kick both Megan and Cardib out of this industry for good. And those are my 2 cents. But I want to hear from you guys. Let me know what y'all think down below in the comment section, y'all. I want to know. Do y'all believe Cardib is going to finally break up with Offset? Do y'all believe Megan Thee Stallion is going to have a short career? Let me see those comments and see y'all another time. Like this video, share if you care. Follow us on Instagram at the Sips Loud channel. And thank you so much for always sipping with us.